3, 2, 1. Oh my God, that's cold.
Wow.
That was aggressive. Aggressive.
Welcome back to You Betcha Radio Podcast, the coldest podcast in all the Midwest. I am Miles, the You Betcha guy, here with guest host Connor McGovern, the center for the New York Jets. We got a great show for you, so let's just get into it.
I would venture to say it's almost the nectar of the gods. Back, baby, back. I want my push. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Hello, and welcome back to episode 73 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. I am Ryan, the t-shirt guy, filling in for Tyler, the camera guy. Nothing new there. Just, fulfilling Tyler's job duties today. So I am behind the producer's mic. Just a couple things before we get into the show, guys. The 4th of July merch has gone out this week. It should arrive to you by the 4th of July. So we're super excited to see a bunch of tank tops out on the lake this weekend. On top of that, Miles, the merch is going to open back up in July, but we do still have some stuff available. The golf polos, the hats, you name it. You can check that all out at oubetcha.com. Miles.
So, Ryan, out of the last 3 weeks, we've had 2 guest stars. Pretty nice. I'm enjoying.
I've been getting kicked out of my seat lately.
Yeah, I think is there writing on the wall for Ryan, the t-shirt guy? I don't know.
Apparently.
But guys, we have Connor McGovern here. He's a longtime friend of mine. He recently just signed a new contract with the Jets. Happened to be in town this week, and so it worked out pretty good. Connor, how you doing?
Oh, pretty great. How are you doing, Miles?
I'm doing good. So Connor you grew up in Fargo, North Dakota. Tell us a little bit about your story, how you went from a North Dakota boy who is not necessarily on the NFL's radar per se, to where you are now.
Yeah, so I actually never thought I could make it to the NFL coming from good old Fargo, North Dakota. But I had a good high school coach, or we had a good high school coach, and he told me that anything less than a D1, big D1 Power 5 conference, I should be disappointed in myself. So I set that goal, and then I got there, and we won. We beat the U of M.
So it was kind of like the pressure was not necessarily from outside. It was more like internally you put pressure on yourself to get there, right?
Yeah. I had that goal of Power 5 D1 since I was in, middle school, or as long as I knew what a Power 5 conference was. So that was my goal. And then we beat the U of M at the Citrus Bowl. And I was a redshirt junior, so I had 1 year of eligibility left. And my O-line coach came up to me and goes, "You're staying, right?" Looked at him like, well, what the hell do you mean am I staying? And he was like, you're not leaving for the NFL. I was like, I can't leave for the NFL. He's like, yeah, you could leave for the NFL. And that's kind of when that goal switched. So it went
from just trying to win games in college. So educate the people where you went to college and kind of how that went.
I need to go that. So I went to the University of Missouri. I wanted to
MIZ.
Yeah, ZOU, baby. Good old Busch Light drinking country down there. So
right.
Went there. Wanted to commit before my senior year in high school so I could focus on trying to win another state championship. And they were the first Power 5 that offered me, and it would end up working out well since I liked the coaches, and that was my number one school. Anyways, so it ended up working out.
So that's where you wanted to go, Connor. You wanted to go to the University of Missouri.
Yeah, by my senior year in high school, growing up, I wanted to go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin told me I was too small. So that was a little sour there for a little bit. And then
what? Because you weren't like 380 pounds out of high school?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. The assistant line coach calls me and goes, so could you step on the scale and take a picture and be 300 pounds? I said, no. I was about 280 my junior year. And I was like, no, I have to play both ways. There's no way I could do that. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I mean, I could get there. Give me 3 weeks after season and I'll
Give me 2 days.
Yeah, right. Like give me a week after season. That's a legit 300 pounds.
At the University of Wisconsin, they look for 3 things in an old lineman, and that's the 3 rolls on the back of his neck.
Yeah. They're
So believe it or not, if you saw Connor in person, if you were to think that he is too small of a human for the University of Wisconsin, you probably would be like, what the hell? But it's true.
Yeah, well, now I weigh 300 pounds pretty easy. Then I went to Penn State, but I wasn't, in my junior year, that wasn't working out. And I'd gone to camps and, I wasn't a huge fan of Nebraska.
Really?
Yeah, not a big Nebraska fan.
What don't you like about Nebraska?
Well, it was actually kind of funny. So I went there on a junior day. And there was another offensive lineman there by the name of Brad McNulty, who ended up being my college roommate. And he, the O-line coach, only cared about him. Wouldn't talk to me all day. Didn't talk to me all day. Only wanted to talk to Brad McNulty, who didn't even end up going to Nebraska. So, yeah. And then
Mizzou it was. You guys did pretty well. I mean, you were there when they made the transition to the SEC.
Yeah.
Which people were kind of like, oh, Mizzou's got no shot in the SEC. And then you guys ended up winning the SEC East.
Yes.
Right?
So, yeah.
You're like on the west side of where the SEC country is.
It's almost kind of like the Northeast because the East kind of wraps around, goes down and up and around. And then the West is kind of in your central part of the SEC. But yeah, we moved there my redshirt freshman year. So I started, the actual years I was eligible, we played in the SEC. So, yeah, it was a great time. I love the SEC. Didn't know not a ton about it. Grew up Big 10, Big 12 fan, and ended up playing in the SEC.
Coolest place to play in the SEC that's not the zoo?
It's hard to beat the Swamp.
Oh, yeah. Suppose.
But the loudest game I ever played in was between the Hedges in Georgia. So it was pretty sick.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I ended up beating them that year. So
did you play any teams in the Big 10 while you were at Mizzou?
Just the U of M at a bowl game. Didn't play in any Big 10 stadiums.
Gotcha.
So my biggest question is the transition from North Dakota high school ball where, towns aren't necessarily closing down because everyone's going to the football game and, there's a good crowd in the stands. But what was that transition like from starting at North Dakota football and going to, huge places like playing in Georgia or even at the zoo?
You kind of grow with the fan thing. I guess never bothered me. I don't know. It wasn't ever, I don't know. It didn't really stress me out or nothing, but, the hardest part was, the size and athleticism difference. You watch high school tape, and I don't know how Wisconsin didn't think I was big enough because I looked like I was an absolute giant out there.
Yeah. Whole line is like this, and there's a huge mountain in the middle.
So just the pure size difference and athleticism difference was the hard part, and actually having to practice really hard every day was also a little different. But.
You say that lightly, like having to practice hard because it wasn't your fault that there's not a lot of big competition, like, on your high school team or in North Dakota, that you can, kind of key off of it.
Yeah, that's what I think sucks about being, like we represent the Midwest here at You Betcha. And it's like a lot of these Midwest states, they're so rural and just not as populated. So there's not as much talent in these states.
Yeah.
But it's like also not these kids' fault.
Oh yeah, it's totally environmental. You go to a different state and they have specific offensive line or any position specific coaches, and you start going to these extremely specific coaches when you're like 8, and then you get when you're like in North Dakota, it's like you play football during football season. You play
like 3 sports. Yeah.
Yeah, you play like 3 sports. You're not. I don't think being specific, like sport specific, is good, but it does help when your competition has been training to be a football player the year round,
right?
And you can go in and it's the whole iron sharpens iron thing. You're gonna be better if your competition's better.
Yep.
Yeah. So is it true that Missouri is truly misery?
No, I liked Mizzou. I like Mizzou a lot. And the state
what about the humidity though?
Oh. Well, yeah. So we play.
Does it feel like Missouri in this podcast studio right now?
I was just
So
gonna-
actually, I would actually just by waking up in the morning, I'd sweat more in Missouri than I am now.
Holy crap.
But it's pretty miserable. Yeah, no, I wore nothing but like Hanes white t-shirts, and I'm pretty sure they were clear by the end of the day.
Yep.
No matter what I did, just try to stay cool.
Going through like 8 Hanes t-shirts a week.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, you go through at least 2 or 3 shirts a day just trying to be dry. That's miserable.
Everyone in Missouri's got stock in Hanes t-shirts.
or just cotton because they go through so many t-shirts.
deluxe packs.
Yeah.
A cheap way to dress though,
That's
it
true.
was. But
Absolutely.
I was miserable.
especially as a college kid too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So then you get drafted to the Denver Broncos,
Yep.
which that had to have been fun because that's real close to home other than maybe with the Packers or the Vikings, right?
Yeah, they're the third closest team. Easy flights home. Couldn't ask for a better spot to be right out of college.
So you were guard and center, right, for the Broncos.
Yep.
You played with some quarterbacks like Joe Flacco, Trevor Siemian, Case Keenum, all that.
Yep.
We see on our end, quarterbacks are your classic, like pampered guys, like they got it so easy, all the other stuff. What is your kind of view on just quarterbacks in general in the NFL as being a center? Is it that there's some guys that are complete divas and then some guys that are pretty cool, down to earth, all that stuff? Or what's kind of your experience with that?
Yeah, most quarterbacks are real down to earth, good guys. Every once in a while you'll get some positions that are pretty diva. But quarterbacks normally are pretty down to earth, especially the older ones, like a guy like Joe Flacco or Case. Or
he seems like the most chill guy ever. Is it true?
Oh yeah, yeah. What do they call him? Like Cool Joe or whatever? Oh yeah, 100%. Like perfect example was we were in practice and the team was giving us and the defense was giving us a weird look, and our old line coach would stand like 10 yards behind the quarterback so he could hear all the calls. And I kind of just turned around, I'm like, hey, which one do you want a mic? And it was a run play. And Flacco goes, I don't know. Like he did not. He just knew that on a run play he handed the ball off and it was perfect because I gotta do what I wanted to do, and it was the 5 of us could be. But it was so funny. He was like, I don't know what to do, or I don't know who to mic, and I was like, Nah, Joe, I'm talking to Munch behind you.
Yeah.
Goes, oh, sorry, I was wondering why you're asking where the mic was. Like, yeah,
so is that something that people don't know in the NFL is how much the center is involved with calling plays and making checks and all that stuff?
Yeah, and it depends on the team. Like I'm sure, certain quarterbacks like to know. Like I've played with like Case Keenum, like to know where the mic was on every single play, whether it was a run play or pass. Joe only listened to my mic point on a pass play, and every quarterback has their own thing. And but yeah, I prefer. I don't think people realize, even with a quarterback that likes to know everything, how much the center does on a given play.
So for the audience that doesn't know, what do you mean by mic?
So, there's a position on the defense called Mike linebacker. It's your classic middle linebacker. But we base our whole run scheme, pass protection off of a mic point. Most of the time it's the mic, especially in a base defense. So, we have a tight end and running back. So they're in, 3 to 5 or 3 to 4 defensive linemen and 3 to 4 linebackers, obviously like 3. And
so wherever that guy is will depend on what all you guys do.
Yep. If I mic the true mic, then, that's pretty much a basic play. But if they bring a safety down, got to mic the Will or mic the Sam, which is weak side or strong side linebacker, it just flips everybody's jobs and new rules kick in. And I don't think people realize it's not like we just show up on Sundays.
No, you guys just show up, and when the quarterback says hut, you guys just smash your head into stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll be like, someone was like, so what do you do during the week? It's like, what do you
I work like the rest of you guys.
I go to work every day. What do you mean? They're like, what do you mean you go to work? Like you have another job? I was like, no, I don't just show up on Sunday and just try to get lucky and score a few touchdowns. Yeah, I was like, they're like, so give us an example of your day. And I was like, oh, like a Wednesday, I show up at 6 and leave at 8 p.m. Is that what you mean? Like there to work, I lift, practice, meetings, extra film study, the whole thing. Yeah. So it's people are like, oh, it's kind of funny you call it a job. I'm like, I work more hours in a week than you do.
Yeah, 100%. You don't even get weekends, you know?
I get one day off a week and it's a Monday or Tuesday. Who wants a Monday or Tuesday off?
Yeah, not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you're right that people don't realize how much goes into playing especially O-line in the NFL. They think you guys are just a bunch of brutes running around out there. But yeah, I think it's cool to get an inside look. Before we take a break, though, I got to ask you about your new team,
Yep.
Jets.
Yep.
Sam Darnold has been kind of the talk of that team in the last couple years. How how you feeling going into the new team? We kind of did this with Tyler Eifert because he's going to the Jaguars. How are you feeling? What's like, do you think is going to be the focus in the next season here for the team in general?
I think the outlook's really good. They have the awesome defense that they always have. Jets are notorious for
the head coach is kind of a defensive guy, right?
No, he's offense.
I didn't do my research.
No, it's Adam Gase, who was actually the Broncos offense coordinator when they won the Super Bowl in 2018.
It was right before he got there.
16.
That had to have been a kick to the nuts.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. Yeah. Peyton Lee is right as I
so your
get
head coach is offensive guy, like I said.
Yep.
Still is a great
exactly what you said.
Son of a buck.
So he's a great guy. And so the D coordinator kind of handles all that, and they have a good defense. But then offensive wise, they brought in 5 new offensive linemen. They have some still good offensive linemen on the roster. Actually, they brought in more than 5, but they brought in a whole new offensive line. They got Le'Veon Bell, who's not a terrible player.
No, it doesn't suck.
And then Sam's on his 3rd year, which is notorious for kind of being your breakout year.
Or a fall off year. So we'll have to see.
Well, I think your 2nd year is your fall off.
I don't know.
3rd year you kind of as long as you
sophomore slump.
You hit the slump. You're normally decent your rookie year because nobody knows how to scheme.
Wasn't he hurt last year?
No, he got mono.
Oh yeah, mono.
Yeah.
What a way to go out. That sucks.
Yeah.
Because technically after a while you feel good. It's just like his spleen was enlarged, right?
If you get punched in the spleen, you're gonna die.
Oof, so
Good hit in the
good thing he didn't die. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
But
the Jets will be a little bit of a bummer. But we do have Flacco now as a
Flacco's back?
Yeah, he's second year in a row with old Flack.
Yeah,
Flacco, where's the mic?
Joe.
Cool Joe.
Will there be any butt fumbles this year?
Yeah.
I sure hope not. I think I actually got to play with Mark Sanchez as well, my rookie year.
Yeah,
he was on the Broncos.
It's a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean he didn't start for us. But anyways, he was there in camp but yeah, I think Sam's a little bit more athletic, I think.
I would say so. I would agree.
Yeah.
Again, last thing is I saw online that they're talking about building a wall for Sam Darnold, and that you're the center of that wall. So hashtag build the wall, not like Trump. Talking about Connor and the Jets here. Build the wall.
Very different wall.
2020.
Very different wall.
Very different wall. But we're going to take a break and we're going to keep this thing rolling. Bush. Oh my God, that's cold. Guys, like we said before, we got Connor McGovern here from the New York Jets. Connor, you just got married.
Yep, just last Saturday.
You and I was at your wedding this last weekend. Beautiful wedding in Montana. The whole shebang. Connor, I have to ask you, what was the decision behind the white pants that you made all of your groomsmen wear? It was a great look, but on paper, buying a bunch of white pants sounds like a bad idea. So,
yeah. Well, they were cream. But
cream pants. Sorry. Yeah.
But no, everyone was hating on my idea. The entire bridal party, all the groomsmen.
Wait, so
were
you got
not
to
a fan.
pick? You got to pick what your outfit was?
Oh yeah, I told. Well, I mean, there was some discussion between Deb and I, but she picked out she was like, it should be green. I said, all right, I got it. So we did sport coats and cream denim. They're actually, I'll plug them because I said I would take them on Instagram and I haven't done it yet. But they're Blue Deltas. Great company. That's his one free ad. That's my one free ad. I need to start tagging them on Instagram because I told them I would and I haven't done it yet. But I will. But anyways, great, fantastic jeans. They were cream colored and everybody was hating on them. But I got more compliments about our cream jeans and our green jackets than anything else.
Cream jeans.
They're cream jeans.
Must have been nice to have that freedom to pick out your own outfit.
No tuxedos, no nothing. I wasn't about that life.
Yep.
Low key, Connor might be an actual fashion designer on the side.
Oh, you can ask if you ever have Matt Paradis on here. You can ask him, and Paradis would always ask me about his outfits, and most of the O-line would as well. I got a good fashion. I got a good taste.
You have a great pair of jorts on right now.
And he's got a Nectar of the Gods shirt on.
Yeah, that was a little thank you from Miles.
That
for
is
the
fashion
free
right
swag.
there.
So,
Yep.
I mean, jorts are definitely in. They're coming back. Have about 4 or 5 pair of them.
I'm not going to say I didn't lead the pack on that.
I don't know. I've had them for a solid 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing this for 2 years.
Well, so my question is, Miles, when do these Blue Deltas become jorts?
Oh, that's a great question.
I don't know if the cream, those ones are not.
That might actually look electric.
I don't know if they're cut for them. They're tight.
I'm going to be the only guy in the whole Midwest with cream jorts, though.
Well, you could Wranglers actually. So as
crap. Of course, he's a fashion guy.
Yeah,
he knows.
Wranglers has a nice pair. They're like a cat. They're a little too khaki, but they would look really good as jorts. I have a pair of those and about to cut those.
Absolutely.
Jorts as well.
Miles, you are pretty notorious for kind of coming up with some ridiculous combos that end up looking pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to claim that jorts is my idea at all. I'm going to go on record
they're back
for sure.
The jorts are back.
They're back.
They're definitely back.
I would like to think that me and Luke Combs are trying to make the fishing shirt happen. I don't know if it's working or not, but I'm really jamming that down people's throats. What do you think about the fishing shirt?
Well, I thought those were cool for a while now. I didn't think that was a new...
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of people online wearing them when they're not fishing.
I don't know how many people online are wearing them, but in the state of Missouri, it's a pretty good frat boy uniform. I'm trying to make it not frat.
Yeah,
it was short khaki shorts and fishing shirts.
Yep. That's good market research.
I'm trying to unfrat the fishing shirt. Absolutely.
Yeah, make it a more beer drinking.
Yeah,
you did have a look this last winter though. It was the fishing shirt with a canvas vest over top.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that was edgy.
Isn't fishing shirts to try to make you cool, and then the vest was to warm you back up? Or how was that? It wasn't
my best look. I will admit that. I could have done better there, but at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. Speaking of that, Connor, your wedding.
Back to the wedding.
So what is so Ryan got married last year. He loves talking about it. Like we can't get him to stop talking about his wife and his wedding. It just constantly goes and goes and goes. What was the best part of the wedding? Besides, that you got to marry the love of your life.
Yeah,
and
besides
all that,
marrying Dev.
What was the best part of your wedding and what was the worst part of your wedding?
Well, I don't know if it was the venue or where we were, but the food was fantastic. To the point where I was worried I wasn't going to fit into my jacket.
Which is rare because a lot of times wedding food can be tough because the caterer's food's different than the normal food that they put out at the restaurant, whatever. A lot of times you get rubbery chicken and stuff like that if you don't spend the money on some really nice catering. So that's a great plus.
Yeah, a huge plus. And I think what also helped was the 50 people. So they weren't, like you said, they weren't catering for 300, which got to take a little bit more time on the food. Part of that.
What was the worst part, Connor? Was it taking photos? I feel like it was taking photos.
100%. So we were in the mountains and no female will wear a good pair of hiking boots under their dresses,
What do you mean?
Yeah. So we were having to hike to take pictures, not very far, but in those 20 yards or to 50 yards, she'd almost fall 12 times, almost pulled me down to the ground another 10 of those 12 times.
But they have to. You got to get
it was
this
always
photo.
before. And it was always before meals. And I'm not a small guy, so I like my meals. So I was always hangry. She was falling down the mountain.
We're finding out a lot about Connor today. Not
brutal.
only can he do it on the field, he can dress you.
Yep.
He's a
Great at
fashionista.
that.
He can cook
And
for you.
he can get a little hangry, so watch
Yeah.
out. Good thing we did this after lunch. Did you have lunch today?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep. No, I'm good.
This could have turned ugly fast, but no, yeah, they had to get that photo for the Instagram, man. It's,
we got, and it was kind of a 3-day event, so we got 3 days worth of pictures.
yeah, and the best photos are never just stand there and do it. You got to go find this location in the woods. You got to get there. There's like mosquitoes or bugs everywhere. You know, she doesn't have
It's
the right
not easy.
shoes. The whole
Never
thing.
easy. Never
100%. Ryan, now that you've been a newlywed for almost a year,
Almost
right?
a year, yep.
Almost a year.
Yep.
What advice would you give old Connor here on his first year of marriage?
Well, Connor, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this again, but
You're not going with the basic.
as
You're going
any
basic.
old timer who's been married for 65 years would say,
Just like Ryan has.
happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life.
Best
You heard
advice.
it here from Ryan the teacher.
Well,
guy.
no, here's the thing. Here's the thing about marriage. I feel like a lot of people, there's this trend going around of like, oh, the first year of marriage is always the hardest. And it's like, how long have you been with this person before you got married? You should
Right.
you should obviously
Well,
know like
I know-
Yeah, Ryan, you've been together with for like 25 years before you got married, though.
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You find everything out, I would say, within like the first three to 4 years maybe, and you're already living together. So you got that figured out. You figure out what her little nuances are and whatever. Learn to shake them off, and after that, it's just like,
What, Ryan? Let's dive into that. What nuances do you shake off with your wife?
probably putting the dishes away in the dishwasher right as I'm done with them versus
She doesn't
just putting
do that?
them in the sink. No, she does, and
No, he's saying
I don't.
Oh,
Yep.
he's had to do that.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
The other thing that
Yeah.
really
I have to. That's what happens when you get married. You can't just put the dishes in the
you can't put them in the sink. No. The other thing that Meg gets really fired up about is if she asks me to do something and I swear to God, it's 30 seconds later that I'm
Yes.
going to go do it, she will just go do it on her own.
Oh,
and then
that's passive aggressive.
and then it just
all right.
And then I look like an asshole.
Well, the only
right?
time Dev does that when I'm playing video games, and I'm like, "All right, yeah, let me just finish this game," and it's like Warzone or something,
Yeah.
so it takes 20 minutes.
so,
But I'm gonna do it after the game,
Are you-
and
100%.
then she does it. I'm like,
Just-
"What? I told you,
Connor, you start pumping out a few kids, and you're never gonna get to play video games ever again.
Yeah, I'll have to pause until I retire from the NFL. I could actually maybe sleep in every once in a while so I can stay up late playing vids.
Yep.
What? That's actually a great lead into my next question is what does life after football look for you? We, as much as we would all love for everyone to play forever, it's just not a reality in the NFL. Is it just to kind of take some time off to find out your next move, or do you kind of have something in mind eventually that you're like kind of chomping at the bit that when you're done you want to do?
Yeah, I want to come home and go farming, farm with the family. But yeah, that's, I don't know if I'll take much time off. This whole coronavirus wasn't, we obviously didn't have OTAs or anything. So really felt like almost too much time off.
Yeah.
I like to work. I don't know. It's just felt like I wasn't working enough.
Well, you
And-
don't get to the NFL without working.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, I actually got to go and run a tractor again during planting, and that was cool since we didn't have OTAs. But yeah, I'll go back and farm with the family and move back here. And I like North Dakota. Great place to raise a family.
Oh, so there you have it. Connor's going to raise a family in North Dakota. That's awesome. So is there anything that you would disagree with Ryan on his advice?
No, I think that's pretty accurate.
It's easy. Being married's easy.
Yeah, as lame as that sounds, it's probably the best advice to give anybody. Because like Ryan said, I mean, we've been living together for a little bit now. We've known each other for a long time, and
Just do
Yeah,
shit when
it's
you're
just-
told and
yeah,
make your wife happy,
Yeah.
and then you're happy.
it's
Miles,
pretty easy.
Miles, you
Ryan-
remember that one.
Ryan, when are you going to start having kids?
Well, I gotta get your permission first.
We got to make sure.
Yeah, do you have paid leave or maternity leave?
We have none of that worked out right now.
we need to make sure that when your kid's born, it's not in the middle of a launch.
Yep.
So we'll have to. Me, you, and Meg will have to sit down and organize it.
Really plan it out.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'll come in the next day and you're like, so how was your night?
So did you guys get it done or what? We're on a schedule.
Yeah, well, you have 3 day. You have a 3 day window here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Miles, probably another year or so. We're really in no hurry because right now we have, besides like the house that we take care of, we have no responsibilities.
You don't have a dog or anything?
Don't have a dog. And as much as I want to get a dog and I love dogs,
You
and I'll
bet
have
your
one one
merch
day,
is his dog.
Yeah,
He has
it's
to
his
let
pet.
it out every day.
I can literally go anywhere basically whenever I want at this point because I have no responsibilities. I'm really just trying to like soak that in.
And
right
he
now.
chooses to spend all his time here. Isn't that awesome?
Oh,
Connor?
that's fantastic.
What
That's
a
some
nice
work
guy.
ethic right
Yep.
there.
He can go anywhere in the world right now, and he just decides
But he
to be
stays in the
Yep.
warehouse.
in the
and just
sweaty warehouse.
packs
sweatshop.
t-shirts.
Such a glamorous life.
Such a glamorous life. So, Con, you play video games. What games are you playing? Ryan and I have become a little bit of gamers lately. We've been playing a little NASCAR Heat 4. We just got PGA 2014 because I think that was like the last one that they did.
Nice. Yep.
All that stuff. Ryan's been doing UFC, all that. What's on the top of your list for games?
Well, Call of Duty right now. Big Warzone guy. I was actually started playing, I don't know, what do they call Battle Royale games back with old PUBG.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yep.
remember PUBG. Big PUBGer. And big Call of Duty and then racing games. So maybe next time I can get you guys. I mean, I do more of the road course, not so much oval track, but
Wow.
I think I could hang.
See, Ryan and I
We are the
strictly
complete opposite.
do not do road courses.
Yeah.
On the NASCAR game, I get it if you do like Forza.
Yeah, I
or
play Forza.
Forza
7
Is
and
it Gran
Turismo.
Turismo?
Yeah,
That's the PlayStation one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. So next time you're back, which I think you'll be back,
Yep.
we'll have you maybe hop on Twitch with us and we can play some racing games. Maybe get you in a NASCAR and see how you do against Ryan and I. I suffered one of the most traumatizing defeats of my life last week on the Twitch stream. Ryan and I, we bet basically double or nothing points on the night because we've been keeping track, kind of
Yep.
like a cup series. And on the last turn, I hit the wall. I spun out.
You were in first. I was
He
in
was
second.
in second, and he
Did
passed
Ryan
me.
put you in the wall?
No, that
You
was
just hit
strict-
it.
That was my tires were burnt. They
You
were
didn't pit.
toast because I didn't pit damn near the whole race.
Nope.
And because you can't, you just go right to the back of the pack.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so
gotta
they were
be
toast, slid into the wall, lost control. Ryan beat me. And it was one of the most just devastating losses of my short NASCAR Heat 4 career. You drive a lot of cars.
I do.
You have a lot of
I
cars.
love cars. It's my hobby.
Big car guy.
Big
What-
car guy.
What advice would you give me going into this week's race against Ryan to maybe pull out the W?
Well, I don't think people realize how important the tires are. I think you understand that now.
I learned that the hard
Yeah,
way.
you learned that the hard way, but you got to conserve them. You can't especially in NASCAR race, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a
and
sprint.
you got to conserve
What if
those
you
tires.
sprint
If you-
marathons?
well, then you run out of tire and you hit the wall.
Damn.
Yeah. So you really got to actually think about your tires and, maybe hold back a couple laps and then go a couple laps, hold back, and you got to cool them off. And then, but yeah, I mean, I don't think you're having any problem with fuel management, but tires, man, that'll get you.
So there we go. I don't think I'll ever lose to Ryan again with that advice. So
Yeah, just
suck
let
it, Ryan.
let Ryan push the pace, just match his pace.
Yep.
And then at the end of the race, just pass him when
Yeah.
you have better tires.
I'll
since
just
you,
do
you
what
were a
he
little
did to
slow.
me.
Do exactly what I
Right.
did to you.
Yeah, you just got to be a little bit slower until the very end, so you have a little bit more tire.
I also have a problem with accidentally spinning out and going into the pit road on accident.
Yeah,
And then you
I don't
have
know.
to pit and get new tires.
Have to, forced to.
Don't have a choice.
So that's been kind of a nightmare, but I'm working through that. But so
I'm curious, Connor, have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
I have not actually.
God,
like
we
I
gotta
said, I'm
get
not a
you
huge
to a NASCAR race.
NASCAR guy.
Sure.
I'm more like, kind of the preppy.
We gotta get you to a
Formula
NASCAR
One, like
race.
road course, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Racing. And I need to go. I've heard nothing but great things.
It is unbelievable.
Nothing but great things.
what is in the racing world or car world something that you haven't done that you would absolutely love to do?
Oh, we'll go to a NASCAR race, or go to a Formula One race, or go to
Miles.
a professional race. Yeah.
Are you
for sure.
are you an Indy Formula One fan, or is it you just like racing in general?
Well, Indy is definitely a lot closer to NASCAR than Formula One. The cars look the same, but they still go.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But no, Formula One's cool. I like to more drive than watch. So like going to the racetrack and stuff. But no, I think Formula One's absolutely sick, and it'd be sweet to. Did you ever hear? I don't know if my brother told me this story, but you could actually drive a Formula One car, full blown Formula One race car. And he's a YouTuber. I don't remember his name. He goes and does it and reviews it. And they're like, all right, to be able to drive this car, you have to brake this hard. And he's like, all right, I can do that. So he slams on the brakes, like his heart stands on him. And they're like, okay, well, you're only at, 60% brakes. We need you to get to 100. And the guy's like, what? He's like, I can't. He's like, well, let's try it. So he manages to barely get to almost 100. So they let him go on the track. And he said he would step on the gas and he would hold the gas as long as he could. And as soon as he hit the brakes for the corner, the thing would brake so hard that he couldn't pick his head up. His head was like between his legs. He couldn't see the track.
Oh my God.
And he would.
These guys aren't. These guys aren't athletes, right?
Yeah.
Connor, these guys don't.
So the guy, he lets off the brake when he thinks he's at the corner, and he doesn't know because his head's between his legs. And he picks his head up. So anyways, he does the whole track like that, comes back, and they're like, so how do you think you did? I was like, I think I was on 100% of the throttle, 100% brake. And they're like, yeah, no, you never even hit 50% brake, and you're only at like 50% throttle. That's how crazy those cars are.
That blows my mind.
Yeah. The dude couldn't even hold himself up.
Yeah.
He was, he's kind of an above average car driver, YouTube auto guy, and couldn't even do it.
Makes me absolutely want to stay on the PlayStation or something like that. The thought of like just whiplashing your neck forwards and backwards the whole race sounds absolutely miserable.
Yeah.
Well, even being in the pace car, the Toyota, we were going 100 miles an hour, and my stomach was turning. I
believe that.
Yeah, it was wild.
I was like, God, I am kind of a wuss. I'm kind of a baby if I can't even do 100 miles an hour.
I do think riding passenger is a little bit more scary than driving. But
yeah, I get
200
that.
miles an hour is 200 miles an hour going around a bank.
Well, we only went 105. So
oh yeah, if you were going any slower, you would have fell down the bank. That's how banked those corners are.
Oh yeah, we learned real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, that's awesome. But well, Connor, congrats on getting married. Good luck on your first year. Apparently, it's the hardest year, not according to Ryan, but that's because Ryan lives and breathes making sure his wife is pampered. So you might have to take the next football season off to pamper your wife like her. Ryan does. And if it's like a full-time job for him, it's constantly, Miles, I can't come in today. I'm massaging my wife's feet. Stuff like that. So, yeah, it'll be you soon, Connor. So you
look forward to it.
A lot of good stuff to look forward to. We are going to take one more break and wrap up this podcast. You Betcha is a Midwest channel. Born and raised in the Midwest is all of us, including Connor. Connor, let's start with, just talking about the Midwest in general. I mean, you were in North Dakota, Missouri, kind of both ends of the Midwest.
Yep.
What is your favorite part about the Midwest?
I think it's the whole work ethic, the mentality. That's what's gotten me this far, and I attribute that to growing up in the Midwest. Yeah, I think that's probably the best, and that's what people I think pride themselves on the most. Yeah,
I think that when you think about a Midwest person, the front-facing one is like the Midwest nice. We're so polite, all that stuff.
Everyone's super nice.
But I do think that there is a grittiness, a work ethic part to being from the Midwest. 100%. I think of I think that's just what, and then also there's like a bond too of like, I know when people listen to this who have had no idea who you are or they followed you your whole career, they're going to look at this and be like proud that there's someone from the Midwest that's doing good things, because there's also like a bond with that hard work that, like, you know, you're one of us and you made it, and all that. So I think that that's a great part of being from the Midwest. How is like that work ethic, grittier side of being from the Midwest helped you in your NFL career, you think?
Well, I guess I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit here. And this was the
Toot away. I do it all the time.
Yeah. I figured it was okay on this podcast.
It actually disarms everyone if you just throw a not to brag in front of it.
Okay, not to brag, but the best compliment I ever received was I was a rookie in the NFL, and an old teammate called me. He's a assistant O-line coach in college football now, and we were just talking, and I was like, yeah, man, can you believe it? Like, who would ever thought, because he was a couple years older than me, it was like me as a freshman who was a terrible football player, had a lot to learn, would make it this far. And he was like, well, you know, with your work ethic, it doesn't surprise me. So that's kind of something that, you know, it's probably one of the best compliments I've ever gotten was, you know, he wasn't surprised that I made it this far just based off my work ethic. So I think that kind of sums it up with the whole mentality of the Midwest.
Yeah. That's actually a really great compliment. I wish people said that about me.
Well, no, you just
Ryan,
point. You just
can you
point
say
and
that
shoot.
to me more?
You're just a point and shoot type guy. So
On our SOP for editing videos, I added to the end for Tyler when he finishes editing a video. The last step is tell Miles he did a really, really good job acting.
that happened after the first video.
Yeah, he literally did it like the first 2 times he edited, and I haven't heard it since. So.
Are you going downhill, or is he just?
I don't know. I think that he's getting lazy. So
Yep.
Your acting hasn't.
Yep.
So
I mean, I'm in the producer chair today. So.
Yeah, this is a writing on the wall for him.
Yep.
So Ryan's no longer a host, and Tyler's no longer even works here. I think we guys just cut him out of this whole thing.
Yep. Miles, you're doing a really, really good job today.
There you go.
This
podcast is fantastic.
He's like, oh shit.
Episode 73 has been the best ever.
Yep.
Well, he was on his Twitch stream the other day, and he didn't have a suit on. We told him that because he came from local news, that he said like the best thing about not working on the news anymore is I don't have to wear a suit every day. So the first thing when Ryan was out of town, he was actually in the host chair. I said, if you're going to be in the host chair and have your face on camera, you have to be wearing a suit.
Suit up.
So he didn't do that on the Twitch stream.
Nope.
So he's really walking on thin ice. I'll tell you how much. It's hard to impress the boss around here, Connor.
Yeah,
you know?
it's hard to find good work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Kids these days.
we need to start watching film like Connor does. We
Just every little aspect of the podcast. Or
take
video.
the security cameras and just keep rewinding. You know, Ryan, right here, when you folded that shirt, you know, I didn't like what you did there with the sleeve.
Yeah. I'll film myself pressure washing the bunker 1.5 later today.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's up to par.
Well, we'll talk about that on the next podcast. We're expanding. Ryan's now moving all the merchandise out of here, so we'll probably won't see him at all.
No,
That'd be great.
he was late to the podcast.
Yeah.
He was.
He was grinding.
2 missed
We
calls.
had to go find him.
Yep.
We searched for him.
Yeah, there's going to be a communication error problem that we're going to have between.
You guys
these
need
two.
walkie-talkies.
We do need walkie-talkies.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
is a great
fantastic.
idea.
He could, well, and Lakin's out of the office today too. That's a great operational move by Connor. So he can maybe be the operations
I
manager.
can take over COO.
We're literally
this
just
operation.
we're just cleaning house. We're cleaning house, starting fresh.
Starting fresh.
Ryan, you need to close out this podcast.
Well, hang on. I actually got one more question.
Oh, here we go. This is
You brought up
great.
Tyler not wearing his suit on his Twitch stream. He was playing Madden. Connor, you'll be on the Broncos in the newest Madden, correct?
no,
No, I should be.
You'll be on the Jets?
I think so.
What Madden is Tyler playing right now?
Well,
it's playing 20, but
20.
we'll get 21
Yeah.
when it comes out.
20. I'm on the Broncos.
20 on the
21.
okay. Do you ever play with the Broncos in Madden and like see yourself on a video game?
I did a couple times, but I'm not a huge. When I was a rookie and I was like, I don't know, like a 60. I just throw myself in there once, and I was awful. Like let up like
Well, so
three
you and I
sacks,
on a separate time have had discussions about Madden ratings and how everyone in the NFL just thinks they're bogus, right?
Oh yeah, I mean rookie year is probably about right, but other than that, it's been questionable at best.
Well, here's my question. If you see a Madden ratings adjuster on the sideline, are you kind of juicing yourself up a little more? Are you going to play a little bit better now that you know that you're being judged by the Madden guys?
I don't think they watch the offense line.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
I think they do.
I don't think.
I think they just pick a number out of a hat, and that's the overall rating.
Well, it's kind of like I feel like the more years you're in the NFL, they just give you a better ranking.
Sure.
Like I just like get 10 points every year I'm in the league.
They
and
like
it's-
give you
doesn't make it
bonus
awesome.
points if you make it to the Pro Bowl, stuff like that.
Yeah. If you like, yeah.
I don't know if I was out there. I could have been out there. I got to hurt my knee in college.
that knee injury.
I hurt my knee in college. Otherwise, I'd have been out there. If I saw a Madden ratings adjuster, I would just be flexing the whole time I was out there. Make sure when you catch the ball that the logo is pointed out. So like if they do snap a picture for the cover, then it just everything looks good.
I think
You
they
know,
can
get
just
the ball.
Photoshop. I think the picture they just go into a studio.
I'm not sure. I think it's all in.
Put the gear
That's what I
on
would be
and-
doing. So
Wait, so did you have to go into a studio to did you have to get in one of those suits with all the
This is
balls?
a bad question, Ryan.
No, did
a ball suit.
yeah, did you?
Of course, you did not get in the ball suit.
No, I didn't get. No, I didn't.
So
they
but
just
they
have
did they scanned your face at
Okay.
the combine.
Okay.
That's a better.
So they scanned your face, and then I was like supposed to go get have the tattoo artists that have given me tattoos sign off that the Madden could use my tattoos, which I was not going to do. That seems like so much work to. So it's one person.
I guess
that's
I never
giving me
even
a
thought
tattoo.
about that. Yeah, that's their
Yeah.
artwork or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
so
Yeah.
it's their art. So you got to have them sign off that. I don't know. It was weird. So I don't have any tattoos in the game because I don't know if that's
yeah.
laziness or I just didn't really care. enough to
Connor,
go
I
get-
want to play with you and your tattoos, and you're just too lazy to allow me to do that.
They claimed that they were going to make them identical, which I was kind of blown away by. But
but you're too lazy.
I don't even know if it's laziness or just not a want
Moral of the
to.
story:
why
Connor
would I
McGovern
do
is
that?
just lazy.
Yeah, totally opposite of everything we've
Yeah,
done.
I think
Yeah.
everyone would say that about you, Connor. I think that that's just you in a nutshell. But yeah, Madden's interesting. Sorry, Connor, but I probably wouldn't. Your rookie year, I definitely wouldn't put you in the
rookie
start.
year. You had to in the franchise mode. You can
He knows all
develop
about it.
players because my cousin told me, he's like, man, I've spent so much money developing you and you're still a 70. I'm like, I don't know why you would do that.
No
just
potential.
Yep.
wait a couple years and then I'll be a little better.
Yep.
Sheesh. I think I was almost close. I don't know what my number was this year.
So,
but I'm
moral of
better.
the story: if you're playing Madden, don't play with Connor. It's gonna be
Well, no, now I'm pretty good,
I'm
I
just
think. My cousin told me I was too expensive for his franchise. the other time.
wow.
Yeah, he went to go.
not to brag.
Not to
Yeah,
brag.
not to brag, but he couldn't afford me. So.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end this, Ryan. Close it out.
Guys, thanks again for listening into episode 73 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. Cool little interview today. We've got more and more NFL guys coming on, and obviously Connor, being buddies with Miles, and I've gotten to know you over the last couple of years. It's been fun to kind of just hear the background of your story and the Midwest mentality that kind of got you to the NFL. So, guys, thanks again for listening in. Remember, you can go to oubetcha.com. We still got the golf polos, the 4th of July, or just like the American tees and tanks on the website. Go check those out. And before we go, I would just like to say thank you to Gina's Designs of the Heartland. Gina's Designs of the Heartland, handcrafts, hand paints, all of our wood pine signs on our website. We have 3 Nectar of the Gods colors that come in multiple different sizes, and they look great in the man cave, in the kitchen, in your bedroom above your headboard, any place where you're going to be enjoying a nice cold bush latte. You can find Gina's Designs of the Heartland on their store at etsy.com/shop/GDOT Heartland or on our website, oubetcha.com. I am Ryan the T-shirt guy.
And I am Miles, You Betcha guy, here with Connor McGovern. May your ranch always be runny. Your bush lattes forever be cold. Cheers, Connor.
Cheers.
Oh my God, that's cold.
you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.